What if everything you've been told about success is wrong? What if the reason most people never achieve the life they dream of has nothing to do with their circumstances, their income, or even their opportunities, but everything to do with who they are on the inside? That's exactly the uncomfortable, eye-opening truth that legendary speaker and philosopher Jim Rohn unpacks in this electrifying lecture. And once you hear it, you simply cannot unhear it. Rohn wastes no time getting to the point. From the very first minute, he dismantles one of the most dangerous myths that holds people back, the idea that success is a product of luck. We've all heard it. They were just in the right place at the right time, or must be nice to have those connections. It's a comforting story we tell ourselves when life doesn't go the way we planned. But Rohn calls it out for exactly what it is, an excuse. A story, a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the harder, more confronting truth that success is earned, not stumbled upon. The people we label as lucky weren't lucky at all. They were prepared. They had spent years, sometimes decades, quietly building their skills, sharpening their mindset, and developing their character, so that when opportunity finally knocked, they were ready to answer the door. Luck, Rohn argues, is simply what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And preparation? That's entirely within your control. This leads into one of the most powerful ideas in the entire lecture. Personal development is not a supplement to success. It is the foundation of it. Most people treat self-improvement like a nice-to-have. They'll read a book here, attend a seminar there, maybe listen to a podcast on the commute to work. But Rohn insists that this kind of half-hearted approach will never produce the results people are hoping for. Real, lasting success demands a total commitment to becoming a better version of yourself, every single day, without exception. He makes the case that your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. Your bank account, your relationships, your career, your health. All of it is a mirror of the habits, beliefs, and values you carry inside. If you want those things to change, you have to change first. Not after the promotion. Not once you have more money. Not when the timing is right. Now, today. The transformation has to start from within before it can ever manifest on the outside. Then comes the idea that truly reframes how most people think about money and income. Rohn delivers it simply, but it hits like a freight train. Income follows value. The marketplace, he explains, is brutally honest. It doesn't care about your intentions, your effort, or how hard you're trying. It rewards one thing and one thing only, the value you bring to it. If you want to earn more, you have to become more. You have to develop skills that solve real problems, that make other people's lives easier, better, or more profitable. The moment you shift your focus from how do I make more money to how do I become more valuable, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not chasing income. Income is chasing you. This isn't just motivational fluff. It's a fundamental economic truth. The highest earners in any field are not necessarily the hardest workers. They are the ones who have invested deeply in developing rare, valuable skills that the market desperately needs. It starts with a decision to grow. One of the most underrated themes Rohn explores is the extraordinary power of small, consistent choices. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success, viral moments, and instant results. Social media has warped our perception of what achievement actually looks like. We see the highlight reel, the launch, the win, the breakthrough, but we never see the thousands of quiet, unglamorous decisions that made it possible. Rohn brings us back to reality with a grounding reminder. No one builds a great life in a single dramatic moment. It is built brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. The decision to wake up early instead of hitting snooze. The decision to read instead of scroll. The decision to save instead of spend. The decision to keep going when quitting would be so much easier. None of these choices feel significant in the moment, but compounded over months and years, they become the architecture of an extraordinary life. Conversely, the small bad choices, the ones that also seem insignificant in the moment, compound just as powerfully in the wrong direction. This is why Rohn urges us to take our daily decisions seriously, even when, especially when, no one is watching. Closely tied to this is Rohn's passionate defense of discipline. In a culture that glorifies motivation and passion, discipline is the unglamorous, unsexy force that actually gets things done. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes, rises and falls, shows up when you're inspired and disappears when you're tired. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision. It's the commitment to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Rohn describes discipline as the bridge between goals and accomplishment, the thing that keeps you moving forward on the days when every part of you wants to stop. He also makes a fascinating point about the relationship between discipline and emotion. Truly disciplined people have learned to make decisions based on long-term priorities rather than short-term feelings. They feel the pull of instant gratification just like everyone else. They just don't let it win. And over time, this practice of choosing the long game over the easy win becomes a habit, then a character trait, then an identity. You don't just have discipline. You become a disciplined person, and that person is capable of achieving things that the undisciplined version of themselves could never have imagined. Perhaps the most emotionally resonant part of the lecture is Rohn's discussion of preparation and resilience. He paints a vivid picture of two types of people facing the same setback. The first person, unprepared and underdeveloped, is devastated. The failure confirms their worst fears about themselves, and they retreat. The second person, who has invested in their growth and done the inner work, experiences the same setback differently. They're disappointed, sure, but not destroyed. Because they know who they are. They know what they're capable of. They've built a foundation strong enough to absorb the blow and bounce back stronger. This, Rohn argues, is the real gift of personal development. It's not just that it helps you succeed. It's that it makes you resilient enough to survive failure on the road to success. And make no mistake, failure is part of the road. There is no version of a meaningful, ambitious life that doesn't include setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. The question is never whether you'll face adversity. It's whether you'll be prepared enough to turn that adversity into fuel. Rohn closes with what might be the most important shift in thinking the entire lecture offers: the move from a scarcity mindset to a contribution mindset. So many people approach their careers and their finances from a place of lack. How do I get more? How do I take more? How do I earn more? But Rohn flips the script entirely. The most successful, fulfilled, and wealthy people in the world are not the ones who are most focused on getting. They are the ones most focused on giving, on contributing, on solving problems, serving others, and creating genuine value in the world. When your primary question becomes, how can I contribute more, rather than how can I earn more, something almost magical happens. The money follows. The opportunities follow. The recognition follows. Not because you chase them, but because you became the kind of person who naturally attracts them. At its core, Jim Rohn's message is both simple and profound. Success is not something you pursue. It is something you become. You don't find success by hunting it down. You attract it by doing the relentless, daily, often invisible work of becoming someone worthy of it. By developing your mind, your habits, your discipline, your skills, and your character. By choosing growth over comfort, contribution over consumption, and long-term vision over short-term gratification. It won't happen overnight. It won't always feel exciting. But if you commit to the process, truly commit, not just when you're motivated, but every single day, the life you've been dreaming of isn't just possible. According to Jim Rohn, it's inevitable. That's the kind of wisdom that doesn't just inspire you for a day, it rewires the way you think for a lifetime. Rocket.